I think it's about introducing new flavours, really. Specialty malts have been around for a long, long time in the brewing world, but interestingly, just not had that impact in the Scotch market. Whether that's just down to tradition or a certain risk aversion with the industry. I think really the reason that it's started to happen now is because we've seen an awful lot of influence from the American distilling market. You know, the craft distillers over there, a lot of them have come from craft brewing, so they already know how to use these ingredients, whereas in Scotland, distilling is the profession, and you enter a distillery and you learn what's already there as the prevailing culture. But in the US, people have come from craft brewing, they've come into craft distilling, and they've brought those ingredients with them. And so that's brought this new wave of innovation of using these specialty malts to introduce new flavours into the spirit, which is fantastically exciting. So it's starting to happen in the UK a fair bit. It's slow, but it's definitely growing. And the kind of malts that people are starting to work with are the things that give a good punch when it comes to flavour in the new make spirit. So, for example, here at Holyrood, we're working with brown malt, with crystal malt, with chocolate malts, with these roasted darker malts that are giving really robust sort of coffee-like flavours, raisins, things like that in the new make spirit, and it's really, really pronounced, and it's really coming through in the spirit. For a long, long time, distilleries in Scotland, it's all been about PSY. It's all been about, the return of alcohol from 1 tonne of malt. So is it, when we were, back in the 60s, it was, 380 litres per tonne, and now these days, a big efficient distillery might be able to return 410 litres of pure alcohol per tonne of malt. That is a metric that distillers live or die by. But I think what's changed is the new wave of smaller distilleries that really are chasing point of difference, they're chasing flavour, they're chasing something that bit different. Those specialty malts give you that point of difference. So then the economics are slightly different, because then we're actually talking about, we're maybe taking a little bit of spirit away in terms of the yield, but what we're adding in terms of flavour more than makes up for that deficit. And ultimately, it's giving, like I say, it's giving these distilleries a really nice, clear point of difference in the market. And so in 3 to 5 years' time, all this new wave with these new products, it's going to be absolutely amazing to taste these new spirits on the market. Well, it's a bit like beer, isn't it? These days, every week it seems that different breweries are bringing out new and interesting types of beer. They're merging styles, they're creating and innovating new styles. Why can't that happen in the whiskey world? It's tremendously exciting. So for the consumer, for the whiskey drinker, it's going to just massively expand the choice. In the same way that happened with wood, previously it was sherry or it was bourbon, but now we've got Sancerre, and we've got the French wines, we've got all these other tequila barrels, these sorts of things. All right, we've exploded choice in that area. Now it's going to happen with malt. The much maligned ingredient that for a long, long time was treated as a commodity. It's not a commodity. It's got all this flavour impact that we can bring from the specialties, and also from heritage grains and from different varieties of the plain malt, different peating levels. There's so much choice, and it's ultimately, the main point is it's going to have this fantastic impact for the consumer.